Hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now this year IWA 2024 I had the opportunity to have a look at the soon to be released EDC25 from Nitecore. Now it has been released now and I've had this a few weeks and had a good chance to see what the differences are. Now I do need to stress at this point that I haven't actually had a go of, I've had a play with the EDC27, which is what this is kind of built around. So this is my first introduction to this. However, there will be some following content where we have a look at the EDC27 as well, or maybe an updated version of that, and compare the two. But for now, let's take a look at the EDC25. Now before we get into the light itself, as we usually do, we'll have a quick look around the box. So on the front here it gives you a little bit of information about it, the fact that it is strobe ready if you need to, but there's a customization that you can do with that. Up to 3000 lumens. Here on the side it again gives you some more information as far as max candela, distance, its IP rating, which I guess I can give you now. Its IP rating is 54, or 5.4, really I suppose it should be 5.4. And then there is a QR code on the back, again some information and so on and so forth. On the inside it's fairly kind of typical for Nitecore, which I think is usually quite nice packaging. So you have your instructions, there is this little thing that it all kind of goes into. You get a lanyard with this and a little piece so that you can get your lanyard onto here, and you also get a USB Type-C cable as well. Now as we usually do, we'll go around and have a look at some of the measurements, some of the materials, and then some of the functions of the light itself. Now as far as your measurements are concerned, so it's a reasonably long light. However, I will say because of the rectangular prism shape of this, you don't notice it as much as some other lights that maybe would be this large and are a tube shape. I've said this long and hard piece of contact that I've made in the past, but lights that are like this, that are this new kind of rectangular shape, they fit so much easier into your pocket and just kind of disappear into your normal regular EDC. Now, getting back to the length then, so this comes in at 136 millimeters. The width of this is 31 millimeters. And then the height, which would be this section here at the end, because it is just a little bit wider down here. This comes in at 21 millimeters. Now the weight of this, they have been able to reduce down some of the weight, mainly due to the material that it's made from. This is made from an aerospace aluminium, which is a very commonly used 6061 T6 aluminium. Super strong, super tough. Just the one colour you generally tend to find with Nitecore, that they just stick to a single colour, and this is an anodized black. The weight of this is fairly kind of standard, again I'd say for most lights around this size, and it comes in at 104 grams. Going around looking at some of the features, hopefully again just kind of stressing that point that when I turn this round, you'll be able to see that it's shaped like a candy bar, like a chocolate bar, rather than a tube that you tend to get with a lot of other lights. When it's in your hand, it really does just fit really nicely into your hand. It's strange how squares fit into your hand, usually sometimes a little bit better than circles do. It's why you find like a lot of Japanese butcher knives chef's knives tend to have octagonal scales on there, because it fits into your hand ever so slightly better. Now as far as the battery, there is a battery, and the battery is internal within this. This isn't a light that you can hot swap batteries in and out of. That may be a good thing or a bad thing for you. For me personally, I've not really had that much of an issue with it. I just use this for EDC, but it's something I guess really you should be aware of if it's something that you're considering. On the side here, this is your USB Type-C charging port. The little gate on this, or the bung that goes in there, is in there really nice. You do have to pull this one ever so slightly out of the way though, I will say. So when when you wanting to charge this, there is USB Type-C. I have tried this because when I first got this, the sides, either side, it's incredibly flush against there, and I was a little concerned that other than the charging cable that they give you, this one fits perfectly. I was concerned that others won't fit in. I've tried 7. I've done that again, sorry, I've tried 7, I've tried the one that you get with it, and I've tried 6 others, and all of the others fit perfectly with it. The point on that is it's not a proprietary one, it's just that sometimes when you get these, if you see sometimes like the plastic on the side here can be quite wide. So it's whether or not it will fit in, and it does. I'm probably overgilding the lily talking about this a little bit too much there. But pushing that in, it all sits nice and flush and flat. Haven't had any issues where, you know, I've been carrying this, you know, get with some lights and they come loose, and no issues with that whatsoever. Your dust and water rating on this is 5 for your dust, and 4 for your water. You can get higher than that on some other lights. It can go up to 6, 8. But what it means is that really you don't want to submerge this. Put it that way. However, if you're out and about, it's raining, you get water splashing on it, then you're not going to have any issues with it. Just make sure that bung's on there. But again, I certainly wouldn't worry about that whatsoever. Looking around, hopefully you'll be able to see, and this is one of the major differences between the EDC27 and the EDC25. So I think from feedback that they'd had from users is that people liked the display on there because it gave you the information that you needed on the 27. However, they were just trying, concerned, is that the right word? Maybe they just wanted something that wasn't as expensive, or something that was better. I'm trying to think of the right word here. You all know what I mean. They wanted something that was just a little bit easier on the wallet. I think that's probably the right way to say it. None of the quality has changed on this. It's exactly the Nitecore light that you'd expect. It's just the fact that they were after something that was a little bit lighter or easier on the wallet. I probably should have said that originally. So instead what they've done is they've removed that LCD display that was on here on the EDC27 and replaced it with this LED matrix on here. Super simple to use, and I mean it speaks for itself. On this side you have the battery, so you have 4 battery levels. If all 4, in fact if I turn this on now, you see all 4 lights turn on, turn it off. I know I've just changed the light setting, and then all of them will they'll disappear. So if they're all on, that's 100, or at least 100 to 75%, 75 to 50, 50 to 25, and then on this side. So this is your output. So there are 4 outputs, kind of 5, I guess. But your 4 main EDC outputs on here. So if I turn this on, at the moment I know that it's on ultra low. I can press it again. Now we're on low, medium, and high. So it's just a very easy and hopefully graphical readout for you, so that you can realise what light setting you're on. So you can just have a quick look and glance down at it. As far as the sorry, I was going to go into the UI then, but I'll keep kind of going around the features. On the side here, you have a little bit of knurling, a little bit of jimping here, which just make it nice to hold in your hand. And then on the rear, there is a ridiculously strong pocket clip. If you're putting this in your pocket, there's probably maybe 25, maybe 30 millimeters from the top of the clip to the top, so it's reasonably deep pocket carry. However, if it's something that you want to have a little bit further down in there, then I'd probably just put it straight into your pocket. But it doesn't go all the way down. And then at the top here, there's almost like a little kind of thumb rest, so you can move your thumb off of the buttons at the top. It also gives you a little bit of information on here about the different holds that or the putting when you're locking this. So it does have a lockout function on here. In fact, there are two levels or two versions of the lockout function. You can lock it out, which is a half lockout, so that the on and off switch here won't work, so that you can't accidentally turn it in your pocket. But if you're concerned that you might need to use it for defensive reasons, then the instant access to your turbo or your strobe does work. Or you can do a full lockout where all of the buttons turn off if you're concerned maybe it's going to turn on in your pocket, and you're not going to necessarily need it for defense reasons, and that turns off all of the buttons, and then you can do your double. I think it's a half press and then a click, and that will undo the lock. But it does show you on here, a short press and then a long press to turn that off. As far as the buttons are concerned, the UI is relatively simple on this. So you have two buttons here on the end. The one that protrudes maybe about a millimeter and a half. This is your power on and off button. It also, so if you do, let's take a step back. This has almost like a two-stage trigger to it. So if you do half a press, you'll feel it as you push it down. There's a wall there. If you do that as half a press, you can do keep it on there, and this will give you instant access to the ultra low mode. But if you do a full press, which is in pushing it all the way in, then that will turn it on so that it stays on. Now, whilst it's on, it just so happens that the mode that it's on is ultra low, but then I can do a half press, and then this will then cycle through all of the light lumen levels. So ultra low is 15 lumens. You can do another press. This will be low, which is 65 lumens. Then you've got mid, which is 200 lumens, and high, which is 1000 lumens. Then you press it again, but you need to do that full press so that you go past that wall, and you go all the way down, and that will turn it off. Your secondary button here, this is your instant access to either strobe or your turbo mode. In turbo mode, you can press this on, and it's 3000 lumens, instant access to 3000 lumens. Although I've kind of turned this around a little bit, I thought I'd show you this end quickly, just if we can get this in focus. So you have two LEDs in here. These are the UHI-2 LEDs, UHI-20 LEDs, but there is also a small sensor here, if you can see this, just below where these LEDs are. If it is that you're turning this on, and I'll bring this in here perfectly because this is quite reflective. If you turn it on and then bring this close, it doesn't turn it off, or at least this sensor does. Instead, this is designed perfectly for if this is in your pocket and it gets turned on. So hopefully if I turn this on, you'll notice that there'll be a light shift, and it will kick down. See there? Instantly it went down from 3000 lumens down to about 500 lumens. That's to make sure that if this does, you do get like let's call it a negligent discharge, and this turns on whilst it's in your pocket, it won't burn a hole in your pocket. And I will say this does get hot, so while I was messing around with this earlier, I'd got it like that and turned it on, and did a little singe on my jacket. So you definitely do need to be careful with this, especially when you're using the turbo mode. But if I put it on again against my hand there, you'll see that it kicked down. The reason why it won't kick down if it's on and then you use this is if you are using this for security purposes, maybe you're looking in through windows or whatever it is that you're securing, and turn it on and then look in through those windows, it will make sure that you can still see through there. Or if it is that it's obstructed whilst you've got it on, you need to use that for defensive purposes, it will make sure that you can still continue to use that. Now, I did mention, so there is also a strobe option as well. This is you can change the function of this. How I have it, when it comes on onto the turbo, but you can change it to the strobe. It's very simple to do. All you have to do is hold it down and then press that button, or press the on and off button, and it's now changed it to strobe. So if I want to use this for strobe, I can press it and it will come on for strobe. Again, to be able to turn it back, you keep it on, and then you'll be able to see that it turns off there as well. Now we'll go down to the lake tonight, and we'll have a look at this working in the dark. But I think one of the things to point out as well is, so for some of them, they do have a specific time on, you know, how, if there are any kick downs and how that works. Generally, I think for the ultra low, low, medium and high, there aren't any kick downs on there, whereas with the turbo, the turbo uses a sensor in here rather than a specific time. So hopefully when I turn this on, you'll notice that all of these lights will turn on for turbo, but then after some time, while I have this on, you'll see 1's gone down, 2's gone down, 3's gone down. So I clicked it twice then by accident, but hopefully you'll see as it got to the end there, it then kicked down to make sure, because it has got hot. So one, it's protecting your hand, but it's also protecting the internal circuitry within here as well. But you still, if needs be, how long was that? That's probably about 20 seconds. You get 20 seconds of turbo light, so that if you do need to use this for a defensive reason, that you can either fight or flight. So yeah, let's get down to the lake and let's see how this works in the dark. Well, the sun is officially down. We're down at the lake. We'll go through the lumen levels. As I mentioned, so the ultra low on this, rather than being more of a 1 lumen or a half lumen or even 5 lumens, ultra low on this is 15 lumens, which is pretty good, you know. There's a lot of lights out there that even just on its low setting, they'll have it around about 10, 15, 20 lumens. So you can definitely do a lot with this. Now this is on constant at the moment, but if you can remember, so if I do a half press with the power on and off button, this will give me instant access to that. I'm just going to full click that, and then that will keep that on. But 15 lumens, so there's, and one of the trees that we look at regularly is about 10 meters away. You can kind of just see it actually. It's pretty good. But what instead I'll do is I'll do a click, and then this will give us the low mode. Low mode on this is 65 lumens. We've got a bat that just flew past us as well. So there's your 65 lumens. Coming back down here, having a look at the quality of the light. No real tint to it, none that I can see. Reasonably white light. But then over there, hopefully just in the distance, you can see, you probably can hear it as well. There's a little waterfall and there's that bat flying around again. Then I can do another half press that will then take us up onto the medium mode. So the jump for this from low to medium goes from 65 up to 200 lumens. Again, being able to see that tree, super simple, but now being able to see onto the other side of the lake, which is probably about 25, 30 meters away, so much easier to see. Now coming back here, now I'll just have a look at the warm spot on this. So it does have 2 LEDs on this, which generally will help to diffuse or spread that light. But I will say, for a light that has a double LED on this, it's a surprisingly defined warm spot. So as I usually do, I'll hold this out right in front, 45 degrees to the left and back, 45 degrees to the right and back. So the skirt, or at least the edge of the skirt as well, is reasonably well defined at the top and the bottom. Because this is a wider light than it is tall, it's a little bit rectangular. However, once the light gets out past, say, 20-30 meters, you really don't notice that at all. So that's the medium mode, which is 200 lumens, and then I can bump that up. That's that little bit. It's just getting used to where that half press is. Sometimes you tend to press it a little bit too far and do a full press. but this is the high mode and this is 1000 lumens. Now what I'd also quite like about this as well is that high 1000 lumens, for a lot of lights, people are like, whoa, 1000 lumens, that's not a lot. And you're right, it isn't. However, it still is a lot. You can still do an awful lot with 1000 lumens. So that tree that's here now is lit up like a Christmas tree. Being able to see onto the other side of the lake there is so much easier. We can see the detail in the water, the ripples that are coming off the water. Coming back around this way, I can now also see up into the top fishing lake. So there's the, here's that waterfall. Let's get back in focus. Here's the waterfall that you can hear, and then there's another little fishing lake up there. Being able to see up into the canopy here while the bats are flying around. Yeah, it uses this 1000 lumens really well. And then you can click it again, and then that will then cycle back round to the ultra low. So you've got ultra low, low, mid, and then high. Now at any point, if you want to, you get instant access to your turbo, because this has got that customizable button, which is either turbo or strobe, and I still have it set to turbo, and then this will give me instant access to all 3000 lumens. Now that's a lot of light from a small light like this. Now hopefully you saw there we just had a bit of a kick down. That's because, but mainly because I've been using it on high, so the temperature will have increased just a little bit, but then it does kick down to about 500 lumens after that. Let's see if we can get it back up again. Let's see if we can do this. So here on the front, remember what I was saying, so you've got the 4 LEDs, and then so what this will do is, see, it is going down just that ever so bit faster than it was early when we had a look at it, mainly because the light is already warm. So the internal temperature module in here that reduces that, kicks it down to make sure that it's not doing any damage to the inside. I must have had something move there, because we've got a lot of ripples on the water tonight. I think the fish are jumping, and there's that bat flying around as well. But yeah, if you look, hopefully you can see the ripples on the tree there. So that's yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, really nice EDC light, very nice. Just have to get used to that half press and roughly where that second stage is within there. But after some time, you do get used to it. There genuinely is a lot to like about the EDC25. The similarities between the 27 and the 25, there are more similarities, I guess, than there's differences. However, if you're after something like the 27, but the price point was something that maybe you were kind of stuck on, and you're after something that wasn't as expensive. Now that's not to say it was a particularly very expensive flashlight, but by reducing some of the features on here but still having a lot of the functionality, in fact identical functionality, really it's that kind of that front screen on here. I think the EDC27, the EDC25 will be just as popular as the EDC27, which I think for 2003 was probably one of the most popular lights that was out there, especially the new kind of form factor that it had. So yes, really do like this light. Now, I do want to say a huge thank you to Nitecore for sending this to me. I have a great relationship with them and the team there, so they do certainly appreciate my honesty, and if I didn't like this, I'd tell you. If I did like it, well, I mean, let's face it, that's why I've made some content on it. I probably would have just said it back and just said, you know, I'm not sure it kind of fits me. So yes, I'll leave some links below so that you can see more from Nitecore where you can pick up one of these. I'll also leave some of my social media links as well, so you can follow me here on More Under EDC, and also my sister channel, More Under Tactical. And whether you're watching here on YouTube or whether you're watching, as I've repeated my channel, on Rumble, I hope you all stay safe, stay More Under, and stay EDC. Bloody kids, you ask them to clean up and they don't do it properly. Half the time they just don't even do it. What's the point of having kids if you can't use them for chores? That's why we have kids. It's ridiculous. I reckon I'm going to say EDC27 a lot today. I know it's not the EDC27, it's EDC25, but I know I'm going to say a lot, because I'm an idiot. Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC, Hi, and I've got an itchy nose. Hi, I'm the Moorlander, and this is Moorlander EDC. Recently, Nitecore got in touch. No, I saw it. When did I see it? I saw it at IWA, didn't I? IWA? Did see it at IWA. What am I doing? Let's start again. See, this year at IWA, I got a chance to have a play around with the Nitecore EDC25. The good team at there asked if they'd like the good team. This year at IWA, I got a chance to have a play around. Really nice. At IWA 2024, I had the chance to have a look at the new it's the EDC25. Don't say EDC27. IWA 2024. I was able to have a look at something that hadn't been released yet, but was come on. Ooh, I liked that close. I think that close was a little bit better. I think this is coming out Wednesday. Yes, I'm recording this on the Monday. I've got to go into the studio tomorrow. So yes, Wednesday. Hope you're all having a nice hump day. Yeah. We've got a 3-day weekend this weekend. Yes. Anyway, cool. Yeah, see you in a bit.